Bro, we talked about this. Come on, man. This is fucking crazy.
But here's my plan. I'm going to run 3 of the miles on Toronto, and hopefully that cuts out a couple hours. And I have my headlamp with me. I know I have it like partially charged, so hopefully we're good to go. And my thinking is, if I can run a leg of it, have my headlamp, sunset's about 5:45, and then you have twilight for like an hour, right? So 6 and some change. 7 or 8 p.m. I could get back with my headlamp, and I can knock it out 7 hours. That's super ambitious, so we'll see. How you doing, boss?
All right.
Good, man. Hi, how you doing?
Doing good. How about you?
Good. Well, guys, I've passed the point of no return here. Past skeleton point, which means I'm going for it. So I don't expect to see any more people for the rest of the trip. And that's one of the beauties of doing these sunset hikes, is that it's pretty isolating. And I like that. So I don't have as much water with me as I would like. And if I'm going to be running 2 to 3 miles of this, I have to keep in mind that the more effort, right, the more water, but the quicker I'll get done. And then, the other side of it is, if I stay at this sort of pace I'm at right now, I'll get back much later, which means I'm in the dark longer. And in Grand Canyon in the winter, it's gonna drop pretty cold. Now I'll be producing a lot of body heat because I'll be exercising, but that's when I'll lose a lot of my water, is with that cold. So it's really a trade-off between all that effort in running and the water I'll have to drink versus going slower, getting back later, but potentially conserving more water depending on how cold it gets. It's kind of exciting. It's kind of scary. But I've been in, for everyone else out there, it's like I've been in a lot of really precarious hiking situations before. And, you just get to a point in your skills is more mentally than anything else, where you just sort of realize that, like, okay, you're responsible for getting you home and there's no one else out here, right? Like, it's the mental sort of fortitude and discipline required to finish the journey, you know, because tons of people just start panicking, right? Especially when the sun goes down, it gets cold, and you've never been in the situation before, and you're miles and miles and miles from civilization. People panic, and when people panic, they make bad decisions, they rush, they hurt themselves, and that's when it gets really scary. So, you know, I don't recommend everyone to push the limits like I'm doing. Another thing is I carry a knife with me. If I ever have to do some pretty gnarly first aid. Another thing is that I'm wearing trail running shoes, which have a lot more tread on them. So there you go. You know, no shortage of excitement here at Grand Canyon. All right, guys. So I'm gonna turn you around in a second. I think I'm getting to the tip off, which I'm very excited about, which is that's where I turn on Tonto and then to Bright Angel. So I'm making, I think, good time. But this is where I have to start running here in a little bit. I'm going to turn you around and let you see the park. Pretty dope. Yeah! So, just a second here, you'll see that we're swallowed by the Grand Canyon. All right. Okay, guys. So, I've gotten to Tonto Point. The tip-off point. Now I'm on Tonto Trail. So this is 4 miles, relatively flat, before it barfs me out on Indian Creek, and then it's 3,000 feet of elevation gain. So, you know, a little over my skis here, but that's how you do the best learning and advancing. So my plan is to do about 2 or 3 of these 4 miles quickly with this jog that I got going, and then eat as the sun starts to set. So basically I just need more fuel for the elevation climb, but I can't eat until I'm finished running. So, you know, like everything else, you got trade-offs. It's about 3 o'clock, which means I got an hour and a half before the sun officially starts to set. But again, don't forget twilight time. And thank God I always have my headlamp with me. So, you know, I suspect that there'll still be a decent amount of sunlight while I start the climb. And, you know, taking Tonto as opposed to going all the way down to the creek saves me about 13 to 1,400 feet of elevation climb, which is why I'm doing this whole thing in the first place. So, just checking in on this trip. You know, I'm not nervous yet, but, you know, keep in mind, it's been all downhill and then flat. And now comes the hard part of the elevation climb. But, you know, the good and bad about that is it'll be darker when I'm going up, which will be cooler, which means it'll feel better on my skin. The bad part is it'll be darker, so it'll be a little bit more dangerous. Okay. Here, let me give you a view of the canyon before I leave you. I haven't seen too many people, but that's to be expected. And the people I have seen have been prepared to do a portion of this at night with their headlamps. Okay, signing out for now. So, just wanted you guys to see these views, man. Pretty unreal. Look at, hopefully you can see that in the distance. Woo. I'm like surrounded by it. Look at, woo. Yeah. Literally in the canyon. So I got that going for me. I may have been single for over a year now, but I'm running in the Grand Canyon by myself, talking to my cell phone. So things are going pretty good, let me tell you. All right, there you go. Sorry, but I just need to check in with you guys again. I need you to see this. This is just insane. Insane. It's just insane. So, I've been feeling kind of bummed out lately about a girl, but like, my life isn't that bad, you know? It's easy to let things get you down, but you know, you get into nature, you know, you look at the stars, or you are literally in the Grand Canyon. I mean, look at that. And your perspective changes a little bit. And you're like, okay, well, maybe that girl isn't worth writing about. And, you know, maybe I need to focus on me. So, that's my pep talk that I'm sharing with you guys. I'm really saying it for my own benefit, but I thought you guys would appreciate it. I mean, look at that. That's crazy. All right, guys. So it's 3:30 and I'm 2 miles into the 4-mile leg of the trip. So Tonto's about 4 miles. I've done 2 at Tonto. Then after that I have another, I think 5 or so. So this is the refueling time. So in the next 10 minutes, I'm gonna be, check it out. In the next 10 minutes, I'm gonna be eating some food, getting some fuel. So I should be at Indian Creek, hopefully at 4. And then I have the climb all the way back, which I think should take 4 hours. So I think all in, I'll be back in civilization in 6 hours at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. And yeah, that math is a little fuzzy, but we're approximating everything today. That's what we're doing. All right, dinner time. Okay, guys. It's 4 o'clock. I promised I'd check in. You know, I'm not at Indian Creek yet, which is disappointing. which means I'm going a little slower than I anticipated. But it's less than a mile there. And if I had to guess, I'd say it's a quarter mile to a half mile. And right now the trail I'm looking at is pretty flat. So a little walk in the park, you know, still at where I want to be. So 4:30, and then I have, it's gonna take longer than I thought. So let's see, if I can get in before 9 o'clock, that would be ideal. You know, the tough thing is like, I just don't know how steep Bright Angel is of a climb, because it's over 3,000 feet of elevation climb. So, if it's a lot of switchbacks, that's actually probably better for me at this point, because I'd rather have low effort and longer distance than high effort. Okay, well, I'll check back in at Indian Creek, and thanks for watching. What up? I'm at the Indian campground. I made it, which I'm stoked about. And I also found out they have water here. So that was huge, huge discovery. All right, now for the elevation climb. Hey guys, so I'm leaving the Indian campground. I'm finally on Bright Angel, which is the last leg of this trip. From here it's about 4.6 miles to civilization. Now, when I get back to civilization, I'm gonna have to hoof a ride, because the trams or the shuttles have already stopped running. But I'm feeling really good. I got filled up with water again, so that whole calculation's gone, which feels so nice to not have to stress out about that, because that was like a big one. Muscle fatigue sets in when you are dehydrated and had limited water, but that's all behind me. I don't know, I'm pretty excited. I got to talk to some people. I met a guy who's been camping down here all week, so that's pretty insane. The next 2 hours of this trip is crucial. So it's 4:30. I suspect 6:30 all the light's gonna be gone. So I'd rather put in a lot of effort for these first 2 hours and then go really slow for the last 2. Now hopefully I can do it in 3 hours. Well, like I said, it's over 3,000 feet of elevation climb, so I don't know. I'm gonna try, I'm gonna try to front load the effort. We'll see how it pans out. I'll check back in a little bit. Boom. Hey guys, well, I'm doing it. It's 5 o'clock, making good time, feel okay. Going up is obviously much harder. So I've done 1,000 feet in 30 minutes, which is pretty good. Yeah, so if I keep that up, I'll be back in 2 hours, which would be pretty awesome. Incredible time. But I suspect when the sun goes down in about an hour and a half, I'll be maybe a little less than that, maybe about an hour. I'll be going much slower. So I am about the last one up, but I'm moving pretty fast, and I I just lapped 3 people, so you know, it's good to know that if something happens to me, there'll be someone behind me in like 30 minutes or so. So, you know, wild day here in the Grand Canyon. It really pushed my body to its limits. And it's good to do that, you know. Keeps you humble and, you know, keeps you excited. Keeps you living life, really. So, okay. Hey guys, I'm on a pretty epic hike today. Probably like 10 miles, and the sun's setting behind me in the Grand Canyon. Check it out. Ta-da! All right. Okay guys, it's getting pretty dark, and I'm doing the last about quarter mile in pitch black. I'm pretty tired, so I'm taking rests here and there, running out of water, but it's only a short distance. All right guys, see you at the finish line.